Welcome to Keep It Real Estate, episode 4. I'm your host, Kevin B. McPherson,
And I'm Rebecca Seiler.
and today we are talking about spring cleaning in your space to boost your value. Today's theme is spring cleaning, and it's not just about dusting or spraying. Do you have any personal experience with this?
Lots. The cleaning, the dusting, or spring?
All of it.
All of it. Okay. So I'm a believer in spring cleaning and fall cleaning. Of course, you got to clean every week. Your house has something that needs to be cleaned. But when we talk about spring cleaning, we're talking about the big de-dusting of the home from winter, is what I would assume. Spring cleaning to me is getting windows clean, dusting baseboards, the blinds, kind of the deep clean,
Right.
you know?
Yeah, you definitely notice that like when you're touring homes.
Yeah, for sure. So for me, when I start cleaning, because I don't know that most people like cleaning, I actually do.
Yeah, it feels good though when you're done. Like it's just, instant gratification.
It is, it is. So when I think, oh, I've got to do blinds and baseboards, I'm not excited about that. But
Right.
every week I do my normal dusting, sweeping, vacuuming, cleaning the bathrooms and things like that. The normal. Spring cleaning, when I've got to do blinds and baseboards, I'm going to clean out my fridge, clean the ceiling fans, all of that. Not super excited. But what happens every time is I start really like, just get it done, get it done.
Right.
And I got my little list of what I want to do and I'm marking them off. And the list starts to grow and my sprint becomes slower and slower because I'm adding more. And now I'm going to have to do some things next week because I can't get it all done in one
Right.
day. And so my spring cleaning starts as a sprint, but kind of ends as a marathon over several weeks. Because I find that it's really hard to do all the blinds sometimes in one day.
Yeah, well, you get busy and you got to find time to work too and find a balance. So
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah. But when it's done, you're right about the instant gratification. It feels so good.
Yeah.
Things smell better. People, if the kids are home for the weekend, they'll go, whoa, like people notice.
Right.
So that's always really like, that's the reward, right?
Right. And then like when you walk in, like it just smells a little better.
Yeah.
It's nice. Yeah.
So we all know what that feels like. I think we all do. If you don't, then you're really, I don't know what you're paying attention to at home. Maybe you're not the cleaner, but you need to start paying attention to when the cleaner has done their job and thank them for it. But because we're in and out of so many houses, we see such a wide variety or it's just a big scale of what clean is to one person may not be to the other. And we expect to go into a home and see it really clean when we're showing a house, don't we?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you're right though. Like everybody has a different definition.
Oh,
It's like a
yeah.
scale.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
spectrum of clean.
There is, and everybody's different, and that's great. With the exception of trying to get the maximum value for your home. So listen here, we're going to give you some advice. It's good advice. We've got stats, but we know from experience what helps a home sell for the best price. Okay. It still may not be what you ended up wanting to be, but if your house is not clean and organized, you're not even going to get as much as you could, is what we're trying to tell you. So this is to help you when you're listing your house, get it show ready, selling ready, closing ready.
Okay.
Okay. So let's get into it.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay. So why do we think spring cleaning matters? Why don't we first talk about what the negative parts of if you don't spring clean your house? Does spring cleaning have to be done at the spring?
No.
We
I think
call
you
it
can do it anytime.
So we can do July cleaning. We can do August cleaning. If you are listing your house, I would suggest that you're talking to your agent a couple months ahead, if you can, as soon as you can, so that they can provide you with a checklist of things that you should be working on now, even before the house goes online and gets listed. You don't want to find yourself 2 days before it hits the market doing all the cleaning.
Oh, yeah, that'd be overwhelming.
Stressful, and you can work at the list, you know, easily several weeks out. But I mean, if you're talking, we tell you, when's the last time you had your blinds done, ceiling fans, and you're looking at us like, what? Yeah, let's get that started sooner. Either do it yourself. We can give you some names of people to do it for you. Of course, you're gonna have to pay, but it does matter.
Oh, yeah.
So we're not really necessarily saying that it is spring right now, but we're not saying that this is only for spring cleaning, but this is pre-listing cleaning, showing ready, and then what you should do with your house right before closing.
We're not saying it's spring, but we're not saying it's not.
So, but yeah, maybe we should work on our titles. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, why does it matter? We've got a list here. Go ahead and give us some reasons it matters, Kevin.
I would say like a good reason it matters is going to improve your mental health. Like if you're living dirty and everything's dingy, like you're going to have a positive mental state there. So that's a good one right there.
So, loving where you live, whether you are listed or not,
Right.
right? And your house is a big investment.
I take care of it.
You want to come home, feel so relaxed, comfortable, and look around and go, this is great.
Right.
So that instant gratification we talked about early in the segment, every time I clean something, I can see it's cleaned.
Yes. A lot of times, like I'll sit down on my couch and I'll open the blind a little bit and I'm like, there's dust on that mantle. I'm not watching TV until that mantle's clean. I'm going to be able to go and some pledge and take care of it.
We may be showing a little compulsion there. Yeah.
Maybe an underlying condition I need to get checked.
I'm that way with the we have the floating wood floors, and it's kind of, I don't think I would ever do the whatever level of shine it is on the floor, because you can dust mop and an hour later when the sun's at the right angle still see dust.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it can drive some people a little nutty.
Oh, I think I got the same floors. Mine drives me nuts.
Yeah. Well, so getting up, cleaning it, sitting down, you feel more relaxed, then you can watch TV.
Yeah, I don't feel like I can relax with it being.
Okay, well, that's good. I probably could come to your house and watch TV. Yeah. So yeah, mental health. That mental health factor is a lot of the instant gratification.
Right.
That is mental health. That feeling of, look what I just accomplished this.
Right.
And it didn't take that long. Dusting, just ordinary dusting, get it checked off. It's done.
Oh, yeah.
Mopping the floor, it's done. Oh, look, I can see what it looks like. It's improved. So, yeah.
Yep.
So what else? Getting the spring clean, getting into your spring cleaning, actually checking the list off. What are we looking for while we're spring cleaning?
We're going to want to declutter. We're going to want to throw away old things. Like if you're like me, you collect boxes. Like I'm going to take a 3-year-old laptop back. I don't know why I'm saving boxes, but yeah, throw stuff away that's no good. Declutter. Maybe take some of the pictures off the wall, fill the holes. Like, potential buyers would like to kind of envision their own things when they do that property.
Do you have TV boxes in your attic?
No, I think I burned my last one.
Okay, good. Good for you. All right, that's good. That's very good. We have 2 TV boxes, as if we might return the TVs as well. I think they were really hard because they were big TVs to even get through the attic hole, but we did. And I go up and get my Christmas stuff, and I'm like, what's with the stinking box?
Yeah, so that's something people don't think about, but yeah, let's declutter your attic. How many times have you sold a home and then a few months later you get a call and they're like, I got a bunch of stuff in my attic.
Yeah, will you come get it and give it to the seller?
Right.
Yeah, we will. Yeah, we will.
Who thinks about decluttering the attic?
I do every spring. I've
Yeah.
said for 2 years now I was gonna get a dumpster and do that, and then also thin out my garage stuff.
Rent your roll-off dumpster. But
I need to.
yeah,
You know, they're expensive.
right, yeah.
But once you do it, I would feel so good.
Oh, I
I
bet.
bet I'd sleep
Yeah,
better at night.
yeah.
I also think, like, when I'm spring cleaning, I can see every little issue with my house, like, really down to the detail. I mean, when you're on your floor cleaning baseboards, you see all the nicks.
Mhm.
You see where obviously the kids are ramming the vacuum into the trim
Yeah.
or hitting the door frames as they come in and out with stuff. And it kind of adds to-dos to your list, doesn't it? Like, I'm like, now I got to trim paint.
Yeah, fill all the nicks and paint and yeah. Thanks, kiddos.
Yeah. I don't think that there has been maybe 4 or 5 years pass without me redoing my trim. My house is 21 years old and I have painted it 4 times.
Oh,
And
yikes.
and I have painted it. Now, so some of that was out of choice, but not on the trim. The trim, we had a bunch of kiddos
Yep.
and we love to be home and I let them play and they weren't throwing footballs in the house or anything, but we just had a good time. And so I've had to paint my trim, I think, 4 times
Yikes.
just to keep it looking fresh and clean.
I don't think I've ever painted mine, but I probably need to.
Well, it probably really matters on the wear and tear. The other thing is I do clean my baseboards and trim twice a year.
Mhm.
And just even though it's barely damp, my cloth,
Yeah.
over the years, that's also going to kind of probably wear on the paint.
Oh,
So
yeah, yeah.
I'm trying to tell myself that it's because we're so clean that I had to paint my baseboard.
Right, yeah.
But so you do see some things that you might need to repair when you're
Yes,
cleaning.
you do, yeah. Yeah, like, you move a couch or something to sweep the dust buffaloes out behind it. You see like some chips or something, or, some damage in the flooring, you may want to replace that. When the furniture's gone, you're going to notice everything.
So true. So true. Okay. So there's a tip we want to give here. Go ahead and give them the key tip.
The key tip, a clean home feels bigger, brighter, and more welcoming. First impressions do matter.
They do matter. I agree with this. As far as the bigger, that's probably in relation to what we're going to talk about next on the decluttering.
Okay.
But a clean home is a really good welcome for sure, because a clean home smells clean too. And we're going to discuss that. I've got a little statistic here. We don't want you to just believe us. We do our homework.
Yep.
So the National Association of Realtors had a statistic. They're always doing different surveys, buyer surveys, seller surveys, consumer surveys. And it says that cleanliness creates a sense of space, light, and order, making it easier for buyers to imagine themselves living in the home. So 95% of the buyers that they polled said that sellers should declutter and clean their home before buyers come into the house to look.
I agree with that.
I do too. I have definitely had the experience where, and more than once, it's a horrible situation to be in, but you go into the house and I look at a house before I show it anyways.
Oh, yeah.
So they've seen the house online, they've looked at pictures, they really want to look at it. So I need to show it to them because that's what the client wants. That's what the buyer wants. But I have had to give a little bit of a forewarning before about the cleanliness of the house. And without being insulting, it might go something like this. Okay, Kevin, we're going to go see this house. I got it scheduled. I did go look at it.
I'm excited. Can we go now?
We're going to go when it's scheduled.
Oh, okay.
But I noticed, like me, they have a bunch of kiddos, and so it's a well lived in house. And when I went to look at it, not everything was necessarily put where I would want it. So just keep that in mind. We're looking at the house, of course, but I'll give them a heads up like that. I have done that and taken someone still to the house to show it, They get in the door, maybe into the foyer. Hopefully they've gotten past that. And I've had people go, never mind, let's go.
Mhm.
And I'm like, oh. And it's very uncomfortable and
Right.
awkward. And they are so annoyed with how dirty or unkempt the house is that it put them off so quick that they don't even want to see the rest of the house.
Yeah, it probably makes them puts other thoughts in their minds. They're like, "Well, if they won't even clean it, like, what else other kind of maintenance are they deferring?"
Absolutely. So I like my clients and I to have conversations outside of the house that talk about whether they're really interested. I want that to be done outside of the house with all the videos and things like that.
Right.
I tell them ahead of time, look at things. You ask me if we can, where is the pantry? Ask me questions, things like that, but don't openly criticize maybe in the house. We'll talk about it later, or tell the seller in their house that you're going to make an offer.
Right.
I give them those coaching tips. But when they come out, it's true. That's what they've said. Um, if they can't even, if that's how it looks and they're trying to sell their house,
Uh,
are they, they're thinking, did they even ever change their filters?
right.
Is the HVAC system up to par? Because they didn't even clean up for this. They're trying to sell their house,
Right.
So yeah. And it's very uncomfortable when you are in the house and they're like, never mind, let's go. Just happened 3 weeks ago. We didn't get past the driveway.
Oh my gosh.
The lawn was not mowed and there was so many kid toys on the porch. The porch had not been swept from the last rain and it had all this dry mud residue where the water must have pooled there and leaves. And it was like I couldn't even get them in the house. What was worse is the seller was home.
Oh my
I
gosh.
knew they were going to be home. So, well, they go back to the car to wait for me.
Awkward.
I'm going into the house and
Yeah.
telling the seller, I'm sorry. My buyer has decided not to tour the home.
Yeah. Ugh.
And
I'm not talking about my clients, but sellers, when you list your property, you still have to keep maintaining and mowing your yard.
yes,
Not
even
good
under
lo
contract.
Yeah, even when you're under contract, you
Yep.
gotta mow the yard.
Yep. So we talked about the need for decluttering. So, everybody says, should should I take everything off the wall? They ask you the HGTV questions.
Right.
Should I totally depersonalize the house? Should I? And I'm like, well, it depends on what your house looks like, and I'm already going to go look at their house before we get it online. Obviously, I'm going to go and take pictures, make some suggestions, but it depends on how much personalization or stuff they do have would be how, we can't give advice till we see what the status is.
Right. I mean, you want a happy medium, like, you don't want, like, it to be completely empty, but you don't want it to be, like, jam-packed full either.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, happy
It's
medium.
it's tricky. So I've had a house before that had the most pictures, beautiful pictures of their family. They're done professionally. They were every room on the walls, down every hallway, and you couldn't walk through one room without seeing who lived there, and almost to the extent that you were being watched
Ooh,
by this family.
creepy.
And so I did make a suggestion that they remove a bulk of those, like the
Right.
majority of the photos, because if it's decor hanging on the wall or a landscape picture or something like that, no problem. But and you can still keep some of your family photos up, but the extent of what you have, you may need to really reduce that.
When I had my home listed, I would actually, put a few of them in, like, the drawers when I know that it was gonna be shown because I don't want people, like.
Yeah, yeah. And I've had sellers who are like, "Oh yeah, no, I'm taking all my kid pictures down," or
Right.
there might be some of those, and we want our sellers to do what feels comfortable, but it's our responsibility still to say, you might take some of this down will make a difference on how the buyer sees your house. You have a lovely home. These are beautiful pictures, but we want to see the buyer taking ownership. Like, I could see myself in this house.
And, like another thing people don't think about. So, like, when we're taking pictures, these pictures are going to be online and they're going to go to several websites. So, like, if you don't want like your family photos and pictures of your kids online, like, I would recommend taking them down at least when we're coming to take pictures.
Yeah, yeah. I have to ask when they haven't done that, can I remove them and put them back up?
Right.
Which I really don't want to be responsible for taking down framed photos off a wall and putting them back up carefully. But I've been given permission, and so then now
Yeah.
I'm doing it. I really would prefer, and I need to remember to make a point of that, to tell my sellers that I really would like you to remove these. If you choose not to, that's fine. But then they might show up in the pictures.
Right.
in our
Yeah. I
advertising.
want you to break that frame that your grandfather made. Not me.
As a mom of a bunch of beautiful children, I can tell you that my portrait photos have nice frames, and they're big and they're expensive. And really, I should be the one touching that, not
Right.
my
Yeah.
real
No
estate
doubt.
agent. But so, okay, going into the whole kid thing, we talked about pictures, decluttering. What is normally the messiest rooms that you might, take a buyer into?
Like a kids' play area. A lot of times those are like real messy. Like storage sheds are pretty messy. Those could be decluttered. And like it's not really our room, but I think everybody has a 2 or 3 junk drawers.
Yeah, yeah. So junk drawer is a good point. I've got one. Do you know what I do every Christmas? I don't know why. I don't know why, but I clean all my drawers in the kitchen
No way.
in case those helpful people after Christmas dinner that insist on helping you do the dishes because they want to hand wash, dry them, and put them away before they leave. Even though I'm okay with you leaving the big pots in my sink, I'll take care of that later with a glass of wine, and everything else is going in the dishwasher. But I have to clean my drawers because of my helpful people, because they can't handle not washing the dishes, drying them, and putting them away
Just
from me.
won't take no for an answer,
Oh
will
my gosh. And so I'm like, I don't want to be judged by the helpful people. So I literally clean my junk drawers because they're always pulling the wrong drawer to put things away in.
Right.
And so, and if I didn't have time, I get a box and the stuff goes in the box out of the junk drawer. And it typically stays there until after New Year's. And then I sort it back out into the junk drawer. It looks neat and organized for about a month.
Yeah. So you mentioned you take care of that wine. Are you cleaning with the wine or drinking the wine?
I feel like after any kind of big family get together and you cooked all day or half a day and you talked, wiping down the kitchen when everybody's left with a nice glass of wine, for me, is how I chill out before I then go sit and put my feet up.
I feel like I'd need a glass of wine after hanging out with the family.
Some people need it during the event.
Yeah, get through it.
But okay, so drawers, you said storage sheds, kids' rooms, very common areas that you need to declutter.
Garage is a good one. That's kind of like a catch-all for a lot of people.
My house would not be show ready at all if we talked about the garage right
Well,
now.
yeah, that's like everybody's storage unit.
Oh, it's terrible. Yeah, and I know
most people park their cars in their garage.
I do, but we've got our mowing stuff, weed eaters, tool chest. I've got my paint box, all this stuff, because I really don't have enough place to put it.
Right, yeah.
And every year we clean the garage and it looks great, but somehow things don't get put back into the right space or boxes and it's messy.
Yeah. I'm starting to think like I may be part of the problem.
Yeah. Well, are you the common denominator?
That's what I'm starting to notice.
Then you might be.
Yeah.
Okay, so decluttering is really important. Closets, we didn't talk about that. A woman's going to go into the master bedroom. Closets are very important to everybody, not just women, men and women. And when your clothes are like out here and you've got this much room to walk into the closet, they're not even going to walk it when it's that. So, again, there's nothing wrong with boxing stuff up. I have literally picked up things off the hanger like this had a big box, set them in, fold them over, take it out, and then freed up all the space. And it's worth it to me to go back in, hang those things up, and between showings or whatever, photos, things like that. So declutter closets for sure. Closets are a big selling point.
Yeah, and to kind of pick on myself, like I find myself, I'm keeping like shirts that I have from high school, like I'm somehow gonna start wearing that again.
That is,
Signatures on them of my classmates. I'm like,
is,
why am I keeping this?
I
I'm
think-
sure they threw theirs away. They moved on.
is that like a Southern thing? Is that a Arkansas County thing? What is that? Eric
Yeah,
has shirts from high school,
like
and
I'm not gonna wear
like
them.
almost threatens me. He is the most passive person.
Yeah.
Everybody knows he's the nice guy. He will be like, "Don't you dare get rid of that national championship shirt."
Uh,
And I'm like, from 90 or 91? Like, I'm horrible for not knowing.
oh,
Was it 95?
I don't even
Oh my
know.
gosh. And we have, oh no, never mind. T-shirts though, tons of them.
Right.
And he hangs them up.
Yeah, mine are.
Mm.
I have to get rid of those.
So yeah. Well, so closets, big important to declutter. The kitchen is probably the most important part to keep decluttered. If you can have your kitchen where you have nothing on them, but maybe um, you might have to have your toaster or blender or something on
Yeah.
them, but don't have the mail on it. Don't have the kids' homework. Honestly, y'all, please take the alphabet letters down off the fridge. Don't have your cork board up. Literally just find a space. I'm telling you, put it under the bed if you need to. Just remove that stuff for the showing. So when we come in, we go, oh my gosh, look at how good taste she had. This is a quartz countertop. This is a stone countertop. And oh my gosh, I love the fixtures and I love the door handles. It's hard to see that when there's piles of stuff everywhere.
Yeah, you don't want to come in showing a house and it looks like you should be on an episode of Hoarders Buried Alive.
Well, and I think that no, we do not want to do that. I don't know that I would show that house.
Yeah.
I would if my client wanted me to.
Right.
But truly, it might just be like this. You've got a couple piles here and you're keeping your stuff organized. But if you could just put it in one pile and put it to the side, put it
Yeah.
under the dish towels in the drawer or something, and then pull it right back out when you come back from work, that's great. Because it will make a difference. All of this, we're not just being picky. We're telling you that your house is going to show better. They are going to be inclined to make an offer quicker if they were impressed with
Right.
it. And when they make a quicker offer, they're probably going to offer more than they would if you are a bit of a mess.
Yes. It's like you wouldn't want to buy like a dirty car. Like even if it's brand new, somebody drives it out and it's covered in mud. It's the same way with your house. Like you're going to get more for it if it's clean.
Yeah, right. Yeah. That's true. I get annoyed when I take my car in and I spend several $100s and they couldn't run it through their little car wash at the end of the
I know it's
service.
right there. Run it through there.
I'm like, what? I guess I'm not a priority customer anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get it together.
Okay. So
We're not going to mention any names.
we have definitely talked about decluttering, and that is what makes the space feel cleaner, open, more open. Of course, it doesn't mean your place is clean, so we still want you to clean it, but thin through stuff. You don't need 4 throw blankets in the living room. You don't need 6 decorative pillows unless you have a big sectional and it allows for that. Simplify, declutter. I think we literally probably
We'd beat that
we
dead
beat the
horse.
subject
Yeah.
to. And so yeah, it's time to pre-pack for that move. Be positive. You got it listed. Let's assume we're moving, so let's start
Right.
pre-packing. And what's the easiest thing to pack? All the stuff that you really don't need, but you like.
Right.
Pack it, get those pictures down, and we're ready to show that house. Okay, so deep cleaning.
If you have carpets, and you have animals, like sometimes those trap odors, so, it might not be too bad of an idea to get you shampoo on those carpets and get that smelling better because you may not notice, but it can be nose blind too. But when we walk in, it's going to hit us immediately that we can smell Mr. Whiskers or Mr. Mittens.
Yeah. So deep cleaning for me is everything we talked about with the spring, baseboards, ceiling fans, cleaning out the pantry, getting that
Oh, yeah.
organized, the
Yeah.
refrigerator. Some people would pull appliances away from the wall and clean behind them for deep cleaning. I only do that about once a year, and I'm like, how
Yeah,
does
I
that
was
happen in a year when it's jammed into this little cabinet?
right. He's talking about the pantry. I was cleaning out my pantry the other day, and I found a bag of Doritos from 6 months ago, and I had a couple of. It was horrible.
That
Yeah.
6 months old is horrible.
Yeah, they were in a Ziploc bag.
Okay.
Yeah.
I won't even tell you what happened to me and how many horrible 1 or 2 years of canned goods expired.
Canned goods expire?
Yes, and I felt like I felt ashamed. I
Yeah.
was ashamed because I'm like, there are people that are hungry. Really,
Yeah.
I'm serious.
Right, yeah.
It bugged me. I set them on the counter and I'm like, how did I let baked beans get expired by over a year?
Yeah.
And I buy them every other month, and I must be using all the new ones before I use the old one.
You got to rotate your stock.
Terrible. And I felt bad. I did have to throw away a lot of canned good items that had expired.
I know. I hate being wasteful.
I do
I'm the
too.
same way. That bug me.
And so now that the kids are gone, I'm like, you don't have to have a pantry stocked.
Right.
Buy less. Get what you need right before the holiday, and hopefully I take my own advice on that. But yeah, so we definitely want to do those deep cleanings, whatever that looks to you, but it should always be about, to me, ceiling fans, baseboards, floors, bathrooms,
Oh,
kitchen.
yes. The dust buffaloes, they get on everybody's ceiling fans. They're horrible and it's hard to clean. But I found this. Well, I got a pro tip for you. Go buy you a cheap pillowcase that you don't care about and just stick it over the blade. And then, like, you just pull it across there. It's all those dust buffaloes.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Free of charge.
I can see that work. But no, because a lot of big chunks do fall on your rug.
Yeah, well, like, and if it's over your bed, that keeps the whole bed from like getting on.
Okay. All right. I'll be a believer now in that. I think
Okay.
that is a really good point, because over the bed, I lay a sheet down before I clean my ceiling fan over my bed.
Okay.
And that actually would be
Yeah,
easier.
pillowcase.
Yep. Okay.
Yep.
So I'm sure I have a nasty pillowcase that one of my kids thinks is still good enough to use. Okay. So you brought up animals.
Yep.
Okay. So animals, our fur friend.
Yes.
I have 2. I love them.
I do
And
too.
my dogs are allowed in the house and they go outside. We live out. Everybody's dogs probably go outside. I don't know why I'm making like that's my dogs get to go outside.
Oh yeah, they're special.
Yeah, mine are very special and they get to go outside. But they, like this week, they're getting damp in the rain and then
Yep.
they're coming in, and I am very aware that they stink this week.
Yes.
But I have been in houses before where it hasn't just rained, and I walk in and I'm like, whoa, dog. Whoa, kitty litter box. And it stinks so bad. And you're like, I think they might be nose blind.
Yeah. That'll happen to the best of us. I find it happening to myself. Like, I go on vacation for a while, I come back, I'm like, I've been living dirty.
And I think we all do that. We
Yeah.
come back, we've been gone. Maybe you don't even have to be gone a week, but it
Yeah.
seems like if I finally get to go somewhere, it's normally a week. I don't know that I notice it if I've just gone on an overnight or a couple days. I don't think I do. And you walk in and you're like, if it's a new house, you can still smell paint and drywall that you didn't know you could smell before you left. It's
Right.
been 2 years since the house was built, but and it's so shocking. You're like, what? Fast forward a few years, or your house is older, and you're like, I can smell mildew, or I can
Yeah.
smell dog, whatever. And
Like, smelling paint and drywall, though, was better. I mean, it's a better smell. It's probably
definitely better.
I guess is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah. And it makes me so upset that I didn't realize what it smelled like until I went away. So all the other weeks of the year, it just was okay.
And then you think about all the people it's been over. So,
No, I don't have anybody over anymore.
oh,
No.
that's good. Yeah.
No, I'm like, we just, yeah. To have someone over, I would have to take 2 days off of work to get it ready.
Yeah.
And it's not even because we are nasty. It is literally to just make sure it's aired out. And I think it's a little bit of my personality, but also every time we have company over, I basically do a spring cleaning.
Even with your kids?
No, my kids are not company. My kids are my kids.
Oh, okay.
No, but
What
like,
if, what if they've been out of the house for a while, like they've
oh,
been to
no,
college?
they know. No, and they know, and we're very neat now that they're not there.
Yeah.
I
You
guess
got rid
my
of the
thing
problem,
is,
didn't you?
yeah, if we have Thanksgiving dinner, I'm going to cook all day. But before I cook all day, there's going to be a day or two that week that I literally, because I think people are going to look everywhere. It's stupid.
Right.
But then I got it really clean.
Yeah.
That's why I drink the wine after dinner.
Right.
Yeah.
They're looking in the
So-
attic. Rebecca, I caught you.
I always say, if you want my house to be really clean, tell me I'm going to host something.
Right.
And
yeah.
and I'll be like in a frenzy. But after it's said and done, I'm like, oh, we did it.
Yeah.
And then my house is really, really clean.
Right.
So, but yeah, so the nose odor thing, let's get back to that.
Okay.
Real situation.
Oh, yeah.
And it can really hurt the sale of the house or the sale price of a house.
Yes.
So I'm going to tell you this. I have dogs. We run in and out all year long in our yard. I do some landscaping. We're bare feet. We come in. We bring nature sometimes in. What I think everybody needs to do is when you're about to list your house, have a friend or like your good friend, or
Yeah.
maybe your friend that like, you're, oh my gosh, she always says what she thinks. Have that person come over and say, I want you to come to my house. I want you to tell me what you see, think, and smell. And hopefully they're being real with you,
Yeah.
because chances are if you have a pet, everybody will smell it when they come in. Now, does that mean you got to get rid of your pet before you show? No. But it may mean that you need to take your couch cushion covers off and wash them.
Right.
You need to have a blanket that they lay on from now on, and you take that blanket out when you're showing your house, or you wash it right before showing to get the odor out. There's a lot, like odor neutralizing?
Yeah. Well, yeah, there's like Febreze, I think is like the big commercial one, but I think there's some like on TikTok.
Yeah,
Like
they
that
talk
one.
about all these different
Yeah.
things that do it. Poopery?
Yes. Yes. I know
Yes,
about
like
poopery.
puppery. What? Yes. So one of the fabulous gift shops here in town told me last fall before
Hey, do
Thanksgiving.
you think if we mention their name, they'll send us a check?
I don't think so. But anyways, yes, I hope that's okay. But yeah, I don't want to mention their name without
Okay.
permission. So I said, oh my gosh, it's been raining so much, and it was before Thanksgiving. And all I smell is my dog. And she's like, I've got something for you. And she told me that it works so well because she said this. My lab got into a skunk,
Oh,
and we were having people over, and it didn't matter if they were or not. No one wants to smell skunk in their house.
that's rough.
She did the whole skunk wash like she was supposed to,
Yeah.
but the dog had been let in before she knew. Someone else in the family let the dog in.
Right.
She came home, found out the dog had been, immediately she knew, of course, that the dog had been sprayed and the dog had been in the house. So they washed the dog like they were supposed to. And poopery, am I saying that right?
Puppery.
Poopery? It's for the toilet.
Oh, yeah.
Poopery?
That one. Yeah.
Okay. They have a spray for pet odor. And she said she sprayed that on her couch and all that, and immediately couldn't smell the skunk.
That's awesome.
So I'm like, I want a case of that. I took a bottle and I went home and sprayed it because it makes it damp. And I sprayed it in the morning or something like that. And I know I turned the ceiling fans on to dry it.
Right.
Came back home, and I am a believer. That stuff's amazing.
I wanted to get some of that.
So that's important. I also know that the whole dog on the couch thing and whatever, you should wash your couch cushion covers. That makes a huge difference.
It does.
It
I
does in
wash
my own
mine.
house. And then I replaced, even though I hate the way a dog blanket looks on a couch, I got over it because I can wash that blanket every week
Yeah, it's
or
so
every day
much
if I want.
easier than, taking the slips off the couch cushions, and washing.
Yeah. So that's what I would suggest is especially if you didn't do it before, get everything clean, then do that. Tell sweet little Cooch, you're going to be on this blanket. Or if they're on dog beds,
Yeah.
remove the dog beds from your house. I don't care where you put them. You can even put them outside in the backyard or on the back porch, and people will go, oh, smart.
Yeah.
They've got dogs.
Right.
And they didn't want us to see in every room the dog beds or possibly smell the dog beds. Good for them.
Yeah.
Like that's proactive, right?
Right.
So kind of hard to hide them always, but you might put them in your husband's truck bed.
Yeah. The dogs or the
Anything
beds?
you need to hide.
Oh.
Just be like, here, honey, as long as it's not raining, we're going to we're going to put all the stinky stuff in your truck bed. Not in the cab, but in the truck bed. So yeah, nose blindness happens. It's a real thing. It is very, very offensive.
It is, yeah.
The worst part of stinky house is when it's a vacant house. You don't have the power on anymore. It is warm.
Yeah, oh gosh.
And you can smell every bit of where a pet has gone to the bathroom in the house. And that house will sell so cheap.
Yes.
Versus deodorizing your house. And you don't really want to fool people either, but a house without utilities stinks, even if they didn't have pets.
Yeah, so I had one I was listing, and they were talking about turning the utilities off. I'm like, I know it's going to be a little bit of a cost, but I'm like, just please leave them on.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to turn it on like 72.
Warm house.
Bump it up to 75.
Okay. They're getting stagnant air, all that. Doors aren't opening and closing because people don't live there, and they get stuffy already. And as a listing agent, we can go and remedy a little bit of that. But if there's no AC on and it's 90 degrees, you're going to smell how old that house is regardless.
Sometimes it'll mold.
It could, yeah. Yeah, and the difference of a house that has heat and air on throughout, it's better for the house. It's better for the bones of the house, better for the walls, better for everything. But it also
It's better for us.
Keeps us not smelling all 100 years of the house.
Right.
So, big deal. Ask someone to give you a smell check. Try not to get offended because you're offended could keep you from making maximum money on your house.
And when we're pointing our finger at you, we got 3 more pointing back at us.
We do.
We're taking our own tips. Yeah, I got dogs too.
I gave them the poopery hint. Okay.
Right,
I gave them the wash your couch cushions, whatever you need to do. So here is a stat.
Okay, I'm ready.
Man, smell is a big deal to me. We went really far into this one.
Yeah.
So the role of odor, the psychological impact of smell. Okay. I'm liking this. Odor plays subtle but powerful role in a buyer's perception of a home. Bad smells can create a negative emotional response, making a home feel less inviting and causing potential buyers to rush through on their visit. This place stinks. I'm out of here. On the other hand, pleasant smells can make the home feel more welcoming and comfortable. So we've belabored the whole stinky house.
Right.
What about pleasant smelling houses?
I think it's going to make you want to hang around a little longer, like check it out a little bit better. And that's good. That could, if they like it, they're probably going to want to write offers.
Yeah. Last month I showed a house. I showed it several other times, but this time they had some warm cookies on the counter.
Oh, yeah.
And people talk about this, but I don't see it very often.
I don't either.
But I was like, and my buyers, they ate some of the cookies. I mean, they were supposed to.
Right.
But I've seen people not touch them either. So I was like, well, not only did it smell good, it lured them in, right? Now they're walking around with their little chocolate chip fingers and they're a little satisfied. And now they're looking at the house.
Yeah.
Smart. It's smart.
Triggering all the dopamines.
Yeah. So Zillow found that 80% of buyers are turned off by homes with strong odors, whether from pets, smoke, or cooking. Ooh.
Yeah, depending on like what you're cooking. Like, what if you're like cooking like cabbage and that's just really sticking to the paint?
So glad you went to the cabbage. Yes. Because there's some fabulous foods
Yeah.
that, some families, okay, I do a lot of Italian food.
Yeah.
I don't think my house smells Italian. I know there is such a thing though. I have
What does
been
Italian smell like?
amazing. Like if you do a lot of Italian, amazing. If you do Indian food, amazing. What if it's something though that is so like, I don't like that kind of food.
Yeah.
We're treading on thin water here. But so we need to remember that too.
Well, there's some foods we like. It's just we don't like the way they smell
Right.
sometimes.
So
yeah.
yeah, you may need to open up some windows the day before and the morning of before. And so maybe everyone doesn't want my oregano garlic smell in the kitchen or whatever. So 20% of homes don't turn people off over smell.
Oh,
Must be. If it said 80% of
it's
buyers.
kind of a low
No,
percentage. Yeah.
yeah, I'm reading that wrong, but 80% of buyers are turned off by homes
Oh.
with strong odors. So if you have a home with strong odors, they're saying 8 out of 10 are going to be totally turned off.
Right.
So you only have 20% that go, you know what, we can fix that.
Right.
Or yeah, they just like to cook this type of food all the time. After a month of us living here or a good cleaning, we won't smell that anyways.
Hope anyway.
Yeah. So that's just that is a good stat. So 80% are going to be turned off if your house smells like your fur friend. Okay.
Okay.
Unless your fur friend gets like a little detail job every week and she smells like little, I don't know, talcum powder. Some of them
Talcum
do.
powder.
I
think they're at a lawsuit.
My Great Dane smells like a miniature horse. So,
funny.
And she gets cleaned a lot. But
I don't think it's good for anybody to play with talcum powder anymore.
But some of those cute little fur friends, they get their little weekly or every other weekly cleanup and whitening, and they smell awesome.
Mine needs one now. He smells like a Frito.
Ew. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of pooches have Frito feet. Okay, so we've done the smell. Now let's get out of the house.
Okay, let's get out.
Herb appeal.
Okay.
Lawn maintenance.
Oh, yes, the lawn.
Lawn cleaning.
Yes.
What are absolute must? You're showing your house. Let's say it's spring, summer, fall. What's an absolute must for that?
A must is mow your yard. I don't want to be showing it with grass waist high and checking myself for chiggers when I get done showing your property.
So definitely first thing, always like make sure your lawn's mowed.
Right.
What else?
If there's any clutter in your yard, like a old tricycle or something laying in there, get that picked up. Trash. If we have litter blowing around your yard, we want the yard to look well manicured.
Old trim work. I mean, I got plyboard in the carport. I got plyboard leaning up against the shed.
Sacks of trash, anything like that. Put the trash in the trash cans. If you have numbers peeling off your mailbox.
A good one, yes. Yes, a little mailbox pride.
Something people don't think about, like if your front door is like peeling, and if your garage door is like faded, paint those. That's something that's easy to do.
Yeah. So I would have to paint my door. Here I go with the paint again.
Right.
But my front door, I like it. I love my front porch. I have really nice landscaping. I love to be out. It's done by Rebecca.
Oh,
My landscaping's done by Rebecca. I love to be in the yard. And so I do my own. But my front, when it's warm out, I have some potted flower plant that kind of like set on either side of the entrance to the front porch. And I like them there. And then you see your door. And my door is a normal door. It's got a little stained glass in it, but it's, it's half door and half stained glass. It has dog scratches on it. Now it's a metal door, but my dog will go when it wants in. And I taught it to stay in the yard.
Right.
I taught it to stay off of this or off of this, but somehow I couldn't ever teach it just to bark.
Right.
And it like scratches the door. So that's why I have to stick with my metal door.
Oh, see, like I had this beautiful wooden door on the front of my house, and my dogs, like, they have scratched it all up, and I'm so sick about it.
Yeah.
because they were like excited when I get home and they're like jumping up and down on the front door.
Yeah.
It's like claw mark.
Yeah. And what's hard is, so what do you do? Because you're
Mhm.
still living here, you still have a
Right.
dog. I would say get that door cleaned and painted. And oh my gosh, I don't know how you're going to keep your dog from scratching it.
No, I don't either.
But
No.
that's a you problem.
Yeah.
And you problem could cost you some money. So
Yes.
you do want to figure it out. So I would literally have to clean my door every time before it was shown, which is okay.
Right.
I know
Yeah.
that. So I
Well-
love the dog. It's my choice. And that's something that we would have to do. So a clean painted front door, a welcoming entrance,
Mhm.
no weeds,
Yeah, weeds are a turn off.
dead plants in pots.
Yeah, and I wouldn't go necessarily planting plants if they're not already there. 'Cause, like, what if you plant the wrong plants?
Well, and plants can be expensive and they need maintenance. So I have a lot of flowers and my flowers are annuals, but I put them in the right areas. I know that they're shade lovers, they're sun lovers or whatever.
Mhm.
I will water every day or every other day
Right.
throughout the whole summer. And it is a 40 to 45-minute task.
Right.
Now, I love it. And there might be a plastic glass in my other hand.
Nice.
You get my evening routine
Right,
theme
yeah.
here. So it is relaxing to me.
Right, yeah.
Other people might be like, there's no way I'm doing this every day or every other day to maintain this yard. So they might think you've overplanted.
Right.
So my suggestion is when people say, should I put in some new landscaping? I am very honest. If they have nothing and it's hot out, it's hard to grow new things in the summer. Then I say, get some mulch on these areas, get a couple nice planters, put some flowers or plants there. I can even suggest what to do for those and just have it there simple. Don't go planting a bunch of plants in the middle of the summer that are just going to croak.
The cool thing about the planters, if the new buyer doesn't like them, the seller can take the planters with them.
Yeah.
Or if they like them,
They're not
the
attached.
planters. They're not
Or
attachments.
you can
yeah.
bargain for them. Yes.
Right, yeah.
So, I think curb appeal is really important. Clean siding, clean sidewalks, the porch area cleaned, rake up the leaves, pull the weeds, mulch. Do you mulch every year?
Oh, I haven't this year. I need to. It's still looking good from last year.
Okay, so I feel like a lot of my areas, if they get some shade, every other year is enough.
Right.
The full sun area, some reason seems to have to do it every year.
Have you ever tried the rubber mulch?
I will not.
Yeah, it seems kind of counterintuitive.
No, but they do it on playgrounds and public places.
Yeah, I know.
I think that rubber would get too hot and kill my plants.
Yeah.
If you want to respond to our video, I would love to know if that's a fact. If the rubber mulch would probably bake my plant roots.
Yeah.
I want to know that.
Yeah, drop it in the comments if you have any questions and answer her question.
Because I'm very knowledgeable about my landscape, but I definitely can learn some things.
Yeah, we're trying to help you. Help us.
Yeah. So
we need some help.
So don't go out and do a whole bunch, but if you have tore everything out, flipped a home, it might not hurt to put a few new shrubs in.
Right.
But go ahead and ask us. That's what we're here for.
Right.
Or an agent, if you don't know, Kevin, if you don't know, and I know landscaping,
Right.
say, hey, do you care if I have my broker or my fellow co-host come to your house and check out your thing? She'll probably be able to tell you the best option to do, won't cost you a lot of money, and that it could have a long-term positive impact. I'm that into landscape.
Yeah, I need to start asking more questions. I didn't know you had a brother that was a graphic designer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After I paid somebody.
Yeah.
Of course, I don't know if y'all noticed, we have a new logo. It's on the TV behind us. Yeah.
And,
you're welcome.
And yes, and he created the original logo, and it was awesome.
Yes.
And then he paid someone to tweak it and put it in other formats. And what did I say? The first thing I said.
You said, I don't like it. Did a lady design this? And I was like, And I was like, yeah, I did. But he's
Uh,
like, well, I don't like it. We're gonna use it.
But I said immediately, why did you mess with it? The one you did first was great.
Right.
And then I said, and you paid someone, and my brother's a graphic designer, and he did our logo for the brokerage.
Right. Yeah.
And so I'm like, so
I
yeah,
need to know these things.
we need to talk more
We do,
about
yeah.
non-real estate things. But so curb appeal, big deal, big deal. And so ask your agent if you're not sure, is there anything you think I need to do out here in my backyard, my side yard,
Yep.
that kind of thing. So, all right. Well, I think we covered the inside and outside pretty good.
I do too. Yeah.
We'll probably talk at another time about your maintenance of the systems of your house, the HVAC and the heating systems and, you know, if things aren't draining well, making sure your gutters are clean. Oh, we'll put that on this today. Make sure your gutters are clean.
Yes, we got to get the water away from the foundation.
Yeah, yeah. Because once you get that fabulous offer, because you've done all these things we suggested, then there's going to be a home inspection.
Oh, yeah.
And the home inspector is going to find everything wrong because they're supposed to.
Yep.
And it shouldn't necessarily be stuff that squashes the deal, but it might require you to do some extra work, and they might ask for some money back or a cheaper price for their purchase price because these things are the way they are. So
take care of your home, and maybe we can keep that to a minimum, and hopefully none of those are deal breakers.
yeah. And
Typically looking for big things.
if you're not selling your house, you never know what might happen in the future, positive or negative, that you may have to make a move sooner than you think. And if you do your annual spring cleaning, your fall cleaning, whatever, you're going to have a lot less work if all of a sudden you've got to list your house real quick. And those situations a lot of times are stressful when you didn't expect it. And so keeping your house in good maintenance, for most people, the house is their biggest investment.
Yeah, why wouldn't you want to take care of that?
I don't have a big investment portfolio. My biggest investment is my house. It's the most valuable thing I'm paying toward. So keep it up.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and I think that's going to probably do it for this episode. But if any of you guys have any questions, be sure to drop them in the comments, and we'll answer them on a future episode. Maybe you can answer some of our questions we have. That'd be great.
Yeah, like rubber mulch. And
Yes, we need to know about rubber mulch.
if you happen to have the answer for killing nutgrass or sedge nutgrass, please let me know that too.
Slide into our DMs with that.
If you have any helpful hints, or you found that something you did had a big payoff, leave that.
Yeah, let us know.
I'd love to know that.
And be sure, like our YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button. I think this is pretty good for free. So, and if you're enjoying it, give us a like, and we would appreciate it. And until then, catch you on the next one. I'm Kevin B. McPherson.
I'm Rebecca Seiler.
And we're keeping it real estate.